wind nips at my face, feeling like thousands of miniature knives stabbing my bare skin. As I walk, I hear the crunching of the snow between my oversized boots and the rocks beneath. The sound ceases as I bend my large body over the mountain of firewood I had stacked in the fall. Cradling as much wood as possible in my long, lean arms, I turn back to where I came. Strolling back to the cottage, the noise returns, like a metronome keeping a musician on beat. I finally reach my destination when I arrive at a thick wooden door with iron detailing. Momentarily, I drop all of the wood on the porch, and I hear the hollow rings they make when they each reach the rigid stone. I grasp the solid door handle and feel the resistance before I win the battle and drive the door completely open. The warmth immediately envelops me, and it feels as though I'm receiving an embrace of a dear friend. Though that is not all that greets me at the door. I am also reunited with the smell of onions and fresh meat being sautéed in a pan on the stove. I can hear the snapping and popping of the oils and excess fat dancing around in the heat. The smell of warm fire in the corner also introduces itself to my senses. I rush to grab the wood logs and close the door as quickly as possible so I do not let the heat escape. Turning to face the rest of the cottage, my eyes are met with my beautiful wife, Kari. Her chocolate-colored hair hovering just above her shoulders, like millions of butterflies about to land on a flower. Her smile as bright as a cloudless day, and on each side of her face, her prominent cheekbones, which look as though they have been lightly stained by rose petals. My eyes meet with hers, and it's as if I'm staring at two glimmering jade crystals. Suddenly, I am jolted back to reality by what feels like the force of a small rhinoceros that has charged straight into my leg. I peer down to see my youngest daughter, Siri. Although she is only 4 years old, she possesses the strength to knock me over when I'm caught off guard. She giggles as she wraps her miniature legs that still possess the rolls of baby fat around a single long one of mine. Though her mother and I have deep brown hair, our little girl has hair that looks like it has been woven from golden straw. I look down at her eyes that are crinkled from laughter to see the same eyes that my wife is graced with. I lean down and pick her up, planting a kiss on her forehead. "My dearest," I whisper in her ear. She squeezes the leg she is still attached to and disappears behind her mother in the kitchen. As I stroll further into the cottage, the old wooden floorboards creak and squeak like a rusty hinge on a long-forgotten door. Another loved one's face comes into vision when I arrive at the fireplace. My eldest son, Agil, my pride and joy. He looks up at me with the brown eyes he inherited from me, and makes me feel I have to be courageous and set the best example possible. I smile down at him. "Son, if anything ever happens to me, I want you to take care of your mother and sister." Instantly, his facial expression dims into a look of panic and fear. "Papa, what would ever happen to you? What's going on?" His words tumble out one on top of the other because of their speed. "I'm not saying anything is going to. I just want you to be prepared. You can do it. I know you can." As soon as the words leave my mouth, Agil's frightened expression turns into one full of determination and courage. "Yes, Papa, I will make sure Mama and Siri are taken care of." With that, I direct my attention to the gradually dimming fire. I reach for the long poker. When I grasp it, the metal is frigid and smooth. Beginning to stab the fire as though it were a fish I was trying to catch with a spear, embers immediately float into the air. The illusion of a red-hot snowstorm rapidly fades to gray ash. I begin to reach for a log to place atop the embers. I hear a car in the distance. Urgently, I cease my action and walk briskly to the front door. My feet suddenly feel like lead, my movements becoming much harder to make. Though the car is still at a distance, the symbol sewn on the flag the car carries is unmistakable. This is the car of a German sheriff, a Nazi. My heart stops, then jolts to life as though a defibrillator had just sent an electric current throughout my chest. Everything around me is in slow motion. "I've done nothing wrong," I tell myself. "They cannot possibly arrest me if I have not done anything." I try to reassure myself, though I know that is not true. They may arrest me as they please, but this must surely be worked out in no time. The car readily approaches the modest cottage that houses those I hold close to my heart. My eyes meet with Kari, her face strong with understanding, but her eyes polluted with fear. As for my children, when I glance at them, their faces and eyes match that of confusion. I turn my head back to the window and see that the car is already shifted into park. Two men in uniform are recreating the crunch of the snow that I experienced not 10 minutes ago. Unable to wait another second, my hand flees my side and it grasps at the doorknob. The metal feels unusually cold and unforgiving. I open the door and reveal the two officers. "We are here for Odd Nansen," one of the men states in a harsh German accent. My breathing accelerates as though I've been sprinting. "I am he." The words come out from my mouth, but I do not remember forming any of them. "You are under arrest and are to stay at Lillehammer County Jail. Then you will be transferred to Oslo, where the details of your arrest will be explained to you." The German accent again assaults my ears and makes my head pound, my blood pressure rising. The thumping in my ears continues and muffles the cries and pleas of my children for me to stay. The room feels as though a fire had erupted on every wall. Will they tell me why I'm being arrested? How long will I be gone? How is my family going to get along without me? The two officers hastily cuff my wrists, and I am being dragged away because of an unknown crime I committed.